All right, I'm super stoked because finally we have available PSR adjustable levers for the 23.5 and newer Harley-Davidsons with the fairing redesign. But there's more. For our Anthem Pro model, we've also added colored ends. Yeah, and all this is in stock in the law-abiding biker store. We are missing one color here, red. They are coming. They will be available. I'll link to everything in the description below. So this is the Anthem Pro model. It's got the gold end and barrel adjuster because this is what's going to go on my bike. And in just a minute, we're going to go to the law-abiding biker shop because we're in the store now, and we'll show you how to install this in detail on a 23.5 or newer model with the fairing redesigns. Before we head to the shop, quick reminder, Anthem Pro model, it's got the most adjustment. You can adjust the lever end in and out. It's got the barrel adjuster for a lot more finer adjustments, and it's got an adjustment up and down so you can have it pull back into the grip at an angle. But don't forget, we also have our Journey model, which is much more like your stock lever as far as the shape and form. And it has a star adjuster on the top. Still a lot of adjustment in and out where you want this to be off your grip, where you want your friction zone to be, or your clutch to engage off the grip, and your brake side where you want the brakes to engage. Great levers. And black or chrome on the Journey model. And moving on, this is our regular Anthem model, not the Pro. You can see a little more streamlined, a little thinner here, straighter, so to speak. Also black and chrome. It also comes with the star adjuster on the top, depending on where you want your levers to be off the grip. And all this is available in the law-abiding biker store. If you want to support a bootstrap company of bikers trying to help as many bikers as we can worldwide, you can purchase them from our store. We'll get them to you ASAP. We'll take care of you, and we definitely appreciate every single customer. All right, let's head out to the law-abiding biker shop, get these bad boys installed. Oh, I almost forgot, we did a detailed video on installing the colored ends and barrel adjusters right here on the channel, and I'll link to it in the description below. All right, so we've got the bike up on our beloved Titan lift. Makes it much easier working on bikes. We do sell them in the law-abiding biker store. Love to get one in your hands. Anyways, the reason we have it up is we are going to have to come over here. We're going to have to work with the clutch cable here on this 24 Street Glide. We're going to relieve some tension because we're going to be removing the lever. All right, and down in there is a clamp. One goes around the frame tube and the other goes around the actual clutch cable itself. You can just pop that out there. So your cable adjuster has a protective sleeve over it. There's a rubber boot on top. It's just a weather seal. He's going to remove that, get it out of the way. From there, you're just going to reach down and pull the protective sleeve from around the adjuster, get it out of our way. All right, yours is going to look a little different than this. This is aftermarket. This is our Fat Bagger's Easy Clutch Cable Adjuster. Can't recommend it highly enough. One of the very first things I did to my 24 Street Glide, I suggest you do the same. There's a lot of reasons for that. If you're stock, yours is going to be a yellow sleeve with a red button. That's a auto manual adjuster, I call it, the stock one. And basically you hit the red button, it basically gets the cable to some factory predetermined tension that they like on it. And then you push the red button in and it kind of locks it in place. But it never gets it really where you want the clutch handle or the lever off the grip. Now, we are putting a PSR adjustable lever on this, which is awesome. I also highly recommend doing this first. It's going to give you even more fine tuning of that clutch lever and how you want everything to work. And this is a lot more robust than the stock. We've heard of guys actually, these breaking when they're trying to make a quick auto manual adjust on the stock one. And it's actually put them out of commission, roadsided them. And they can't move on their trip. So I would just get rid of that whole plastic system regardless. Again, Fat Bagger's Easy Clutch Cable Adjuster, highly recommended. It's available in the law-abiding biker store, and I will link to it in the description below. But in this case, we're going to be able to take a lot of tension off the clutch cable because we have this. You'll only be able to get minimal tension off it if you have the stock adjuster. All right, with our Fat Bagger's Easy Clutch Adjuster, it's just two 15mm wrenches. One's a lock nut, and then the other one is going to be our adjuster nut. He's going to back that lock nut off to give him some room here. He's going to hold the bottom one and start turning the top there clockwise, which is going to start taking tension off of our clutch cable. And if you're familiar with pre-24 Harleys, you know, with cable clutches, you know, in 21 they went back to the cable clutch. This is much more indicative of the older Harleys that had actual metal adjusters where you could fine tune them in there, and that's exactly what this Fat Bagger's Easy Clutch Adjuster gets us back to. And he'll just keep turning that till we get the cable nice and loose. All right, so you can see we took a bunch of tension off the clutch handle there. That's about where you want it here. It'll make it easier to remove. We're gonna come up underneath here. There's a bolt for the clutch safety switch cover here. And you can see it right underneath there. He's gonna come up here with a Torx. That's a T10, Torx T10 there. And he will work on backing that guy out. Once that's out, you can go ahead and remove that cover. All right, so what you're looking at underneath there is the pin that goes through to hold your lever on. There's a little bit of a modified snap ring, so to speak, on there. He's gonna move it around with a screwdriver to give ourselves a better advantage of getting snap ring pliers up there and spreading it apart. Instead of 2 holes, it's just got 1 big hole, but it can still be spread apart. All right, from there, he's just gonna go in with the snap ring and find that large hole, and he'll spread this apart, get that bad boy off there. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and remove the half clamp here. Now yours is gonna be stock Torx T27 2 bolts. We've replaced it with our beloved Cero cup holder, so I can have my coffee, stay awake, stay hydrated on long distance trips. It is a safety issue, but it's very easy to replace. So either way, just remove those 2 stock bolts out of the half clamp. And the reason we're starting here is because we're actually gonna remove the housing. Without doing that, very difficult, if not impossible, to remove the cable from the back side of the clutch just because it's up in 2 plates. So now that we have the 2 bolts removed, before we start separating things, there is a plug right back here that we need to remove. So looking at that plug from underneath, just got a weather boot around it. You can go ahead and separate that off of it. And then on the bottom of that, there's a little push tab you can just push up and you can pull that out of there. All right, and from there you can go ahead and separate this clutch lever assembly from the housing. We've got a lot of play because we have our Fat Bagger's Easy Clutch Adjuster and we've backed it off all the way. He can go ahead and just pull back. He can pull away from each other there, and you see the channel that the cable comes out there, and there is our lever. So he's gonna go ahead and set the housing out of the way now. From here, he'll just go ahead and rotate the clutch lever around, and you'll see he'll work the cable out of the channel by turning it there, and he'll pop that out of there. There is a sleeve on there. All right, just real quick, we'll get right back into your video. As you can imagine, a ton of man hours, expenses, and effort go into keeping this channel going strong. There is a way you can support us by becoming a patron member, and there's benefits for doing so, such as t-shirts and stickers. You get access to the private Facebook group. It's a troll-free zone. It is nothing but bikers helping and connecting with other bikers in there. You get access to live video broadcasts and chat, podcasts early, premium videos upon request, and of course, access to all the ride, meetup, and events. We really appreciate you considering becoming a member. We'd love to get to know you better. All right, let's get back into your video. So from here, you'll want to note how that spring is situated on there and mounted. Additionally, inside there is a sleeve that we're going to work out of there because we are going to reuse this hardware on our new PSR Anthem Pro levers. All right, the easiest way to work that inner sleeve out of there is to find a socket that fits in there. It's a 3/8 inch outer diameter. Easily figure that out by grabbing some sockets and taking a measuring caliper, and he figured out this one was the right one. And always remember, if you love it, lube it. So he's going to put a little lube in there to make that come out easier. From there, he's going to take that socket and situate it inside there, and he'll start using his rubber mallet there, and he'll just work that out of there. Now we can remove our spring, but remember how that was situated in there, and you see that short arm? There's a hole back in there. That is where that goes, and just make sure you know how that goes in relation to your lever. And he's worked his sleeve the rest of the way out of there. Before putting the sleeve back in our new PSR Anthem Pro lever, he's going to lube it a little bit. And remember, the sleeve, the same way we took it out, it starts and goes through the bottom there. And he's just going to start trying to evenly work that down into the channel. All right, before we go in with the sleeve any further, remember we have to put that spring back in. And you see the short end, there is a hole, of course, in the PSR lever. So he's going to situate that back in there, making sure that short end situates in the hole there. And from there, you can go ahead and work that sleeve in. And there we go. It is back together. And look how sexy that lever is going on my bike. This is the PSR Anthem Pro model. of course. And as mentioned, I've got the gold colored end and barrel adjuster. We've got multiple different colors all available in the Law Abiding Biker store. Just really dresses them up, makes them pop. Links are in the description below. So we're going back on with the PSR lever. He's got it upside down just to show you. Remember that channel, that's where the cable goes in there. But to put it on, he's going to flip it around. We just wanted to show you the bottom there. And while he's putting it on there, he'll be working the cable through that bottom channel and then spinning it on there. All right, so from here he's going back on with the plates that go over the clutch lever there. He's working the cable into the slot there, as you can see. And then he can go ahead and give a pull and work everything back into the proper channel there. Just working his half clamp back into place there on the rear. And then of course you can go on with our beloved Cero cup holder. Again, you're just gonna have the 2 stock Torx T27 bolts. And he's just barely gonna get these started. We wanna leave them a bit loose because we still have to get the pin in the clutch lever. By leaving it loose, it'll allow us clearance from the housing. So from here, very easy, because we have our Fat Bagger's Easy Clutch Adjuster. There's so much play, we can just do it with our thumb. You may have more difficulty than that. If you have the stock cable adjuster, it'll be really tight. You may have to try to get it lined up and even use like a rubber mallet or something to work it down in there. All right, and you just plug in that bottom plug back in. Once you do that, work that rubber weather boot over. And don't forget to tighten your half clamp bolts all the way down. And don't forget to go back on your pin with the retaining ring there. He's pushing up with a screwdriver to make sure it sits in the machine channel in that pin. And going back up with his bolt there, that's a Torx T10 to secure that cover. So he's got his 2 15mm wrenches there on our Fat Bagger's Easy Clutch Cable Adjuster. Holding the bottom, turning the top counterclockwise to tighten the cable. All right, and the way I do this is I have this adjusted all the way out, and we'll just leave this alone right now, but adjusting the cable down below, I always start with about a 1/4 inch of play, like so, and then I'll get the bike started up and dial the actual cable adjustment in before I start doing anything here. So I've got about a 1/4 inch of play in the clutch handle, and that's where I'm gonna start. This is backed all the way out, so this is as far out from the grip as it will go. That's where you wanna start. And now I'm just gonna adjust the actual Fat Bagger's Easy Clutch Adjuster on the cable to kind of get this to engage kind of where I want it if this was set all the way out. I'll start there. So if you want to come in and take a look, I've got the clutch basically, you can see my bike, it's engaging pretty far off the grip there, and that's just the gross adjustment on the clutch cable itself. So now that I got that set where I want it, kind of standard, now I can make my actual lever adjustments on the PSR itself and get it exactly where I want it. And so just remember to have a bit of play, like a 1/4 inch in this or somewhere thereabouts, because as things wear, the plates and the cable are going to tighten up. That's when you're going to have to adjust it. So that gives you a little bit before you'll have to adjust it again. All right, and this is crucial, guys, and why I told you to start this lever with this turned all the way this way, adjusted as far out as you can, because if you came out here and you had it adjusted all the way in like this, there is a point where your clutch is not going to disengage, and that's probably it there. So if you came out here and started with it all the way in and you started your bike, it's probably going to lunge, or if you already had it started and pulled this in and shifted, it's gonna pop and lunge on you. So get it started all the way out, make sure everything feels good. And now I'm going to slowly start making some adjustments in with my bike running and kind of feel exactly where I want this thing. So I'm just going to go in a few clicks. And you can see how close that is engaging off the grip now. If you want to come down here and take a look, I'm engaging right there. So very much off the grip. And that's the nice thing, is I can go out and train on this and you know, just kind of figure out exactly where I want that guy, maybe just a little farther out, but that's going to be personal preference from there. All right, somewhere about there. And just a reminder on the Anthem Pro model, additional adjustments are that bolt right there, and you can slide this lever end out how far you want it. And then you've got another adjustment right there. You can loosen that a little bit. That will allow you to bring this lever up and down. It won't go down any farther, but it will come up to where you want it. If you wanted to pull back, down at an angle onto your grip. But again, all personal preference on those adjustments. So we're going to remove the brake lever from this 24 Street Glide. There's just a regular snap ring up there. You just use the regular pliers, the two holes, spread that guy apart. And that is the bottom of the pin that we remove that ring from that we're going to push through. From there, he'll just push on the pin from the bottom, and it pulls right out the top here. From there, you can just go ahead and remove the lever. All right, so going back on with the lever, just make sure this socket in the lever goes on to that actuator ball right there. Make sure you get that lined up and pushing it into place there. From there, you can go ahead and go in with the pin there. So going back on with his stock snap ring there, just got his pliers and seat that into place. Make sure you get it in the channel on the pin there. All right, so just like the clutch side, the brake side has the same adjustability. You can extend this end out. You can also grab that guy there and loosen it, get the angle and where you want it to go back into the grip, of course, and then your barrel adjuster to adjust it where you want your brake to engage right off the grip so it's really comfortable for you.